Well, guys, we're back.
We're back. You know, last fall we told you we needed a few weeks off or a few months off in order to take care of a few things. And, well,
It ended up taking about 8.
maybe 9.
Yeah.
And
That's life, though, you know.
it happens, it just happens. But we're happy to be back with you. But if you're new here, we need to stop for a few moments and introduce ourselves. I'm Owen.
I'm Lynn.
Maggie is inside. She's our pup. And for now, we're known as Van Trekking Lifestyle. And if you're new, we're glad you found us. But this video, it's mainly for the folks that have been with us for
Years.
years.
And we kind of just felt like we needed to explain kind of what's been going on, what we're doing, and what we plan to do in the future.
But it's mainly for all the folks who've been with us for such a long, long time. Over 500 videos, over 8 years. We just love you like family.
And speaking of family, we have a new family member.
Meet Shiny.
Running out of water.
Oh, yeah. So over the last 8 to 9 months, we've heard from a lot of you, and you've had a lot of questions, and we haven't really done a good job of answering those questions.
I'm sorry.
So today, I am too, and today we're going to try to answer a few of those. Like the very biggest one is, why in the world have you guys been away for 9 months? And
Also, why are we changing up the way we travel? And how we settled on what we got, the Airstream Base Camp.
And along the way, we're going to let you spend a little bit of time with us as the three of us camp at some place that is not necessarily where you usually see us, an RV resort.
Which is a very big change for us.
We've really missed you
But
guys.
we liked it. We actually
liked it.
Yeah,
And
we
we'll
did.
tell you more about what we like in a few moments. But for now, we're back. And we're really glad we are. We've missed you.
So the big question is why we've been away for so long. And the biggest reason is health issues. I battled skin cancer last year. I'm totally healthy now. Now Owen's battling it. I've had a lot of dental work done. And also Owen's been battling back problems,
Yes.
which he is actually solving it, and we'll
We're
give you an
enjoying
insight
life.
on how he's doing that.
Yeah. The skin cancer thing was a scare. So that was part of what was going on last year. If you are anywhere in the United States, and many of you who watch us are not, but we experienced in our area of the country a little hurricane known as Helene.
Wasn't little.
It wasn't. And it wiped out a lot of our favorite places. And we live in the mountains of North Carolina. It didn't wipe us out, but it sure caused a lot of things to change around here for us and our home and our lake and everything else. So it took us a while. I mean, you just didn't want to leave because everything was kind of in shambles. Along with that, and maybe because of that, and we weren't traveling as much, we started to experience a lot of YouTube burnout. You know, when you're in this thing, you want to do well, and there's no really good way to measure whether we're really providing value to you guys. And so you start chasing numbers, or you start chasing dollars and views, and everybody that does this goes through the same thing. And we thought, okay, we just need a few months off just to concentrate on getting healthy and getting back out there, and then we'll feel like doing it again probably in September maybe. And it turns out we were just so burned out that we just couldn't make ourselves create a video. And when we did try to, because we had to travel in order to make a video, we found that we were just not really feeling being out there and traveling. You know, you're leaving a home that needs repair because of the hurricane, and you're forcing yourself to travel because you've got a channel. It just felt like you're just forcing everything. We just decided that wasn't us. And in our retirement, that's not how we want to spend our retirement years, is forcing everything we do every day, because life's better when we can get up and say, what do you want to do today? And both of us agree and go do it.
That's right. Another reason we were more or less bummed out, I guess, was all the issues we were having with the RV. And it seemed like we never went on a trip without having some kind of problem. So that was also making us hard to take another trip and find another problem. So we just didn't feel like traveling.
Yeah. And if you've watched this for any time, then you've seen all of those. And it takes a toll. traveling all by itself, packing and planning and all the things you do to go visit some of these bucket list places, it's hard enough. But when you try to go somewhere and the RV lets you down, and you always have to wonder when you wake up tomorrow what's not going to work. Well, it just made it another reason for us not to want to go.
And saying all that, we were having all those issues. We were actually burnt out and not feeling the travel. We just didn't want to make up videos. We didn't want to force it and, just make it about us and not traveling. We wanted to provide value actually with the videos. So we felt like, it was time to take a pause.
Give me another drink here.
That's all mine.
Got an ant. Oh no, not a knuckle. So you've seen Shiny, and we actually love that Airstream base camp. But many of you are probably wondering, your name of your channel is Van Trekking Lifestyle, and ever since I've been following you, you've been in a van. So why are you not in a van, and why did you change your style? Maybe we need to address that too.
Well, one of the reason was, finances. I mean, we weren't traveling, and we had that nice RV sitting up there with a lot of money invested in it. So we felt like that we would be better off, and we couldn't travel. I mean, that made us feel even worse that we got something up there.
Every day we'd walk by it, and it just makes you feel like, gosh, we need to plan a trip because you've got so much money invested in it, and it's depreciating. And it's not just the money you pay for it either. It's because it's such a big investment. The insurance is a lot more. The taxes are a lot more. And it's just, it just made sense to take some of the money from selling and spend a little of it on something that we could travel when we wanted to, but not feel like we
had to
forced
travel,
to have to.
right.
Yeah.
So I think that was the main reason that we chose something else. And, I think it was time for us to just have a change. Yeah. And, Owen loves a challenge. So, figuring all that out was a challenge for him. So he liked that.
If you look back to our days when we traveled in the Winnebago Travado, one of the things we fell in love with that, even over the fifth wheel we were in before, is when you put those window shades down, it felt like you had a 360 panoramic view almost of everywhere you went. And we knew, because of some of the problems we've had with the lack of quality of the previous RVs we'd had from Winnebago, that we really wanted to get something that was at least known for quality. So when you do that research, you do the same thing. The top three is going to come back with the same list, and Airstream's always in that list. And so we always thought, they're overpriced. It's not true. But the more we looked, the more we found out that maybe we needed to at least give it a try. So we went and we got in every Airstream we could at dealers, and we didn't show you guys that, and we tried to figure out which one fit us best. And then one day we just happened to go in a base camp when all the windows were down. We both fell in love with it almost immediately. And it took us full circle back to the Travado days. And it's just got so much room in there for such a small
pretty basic
package.
And, it's pretty basic, and it does have a great, big room in there, and it's lifted a little bit. So if we do want to go off road, we feel like that, we could probably handle that. And with the truck, being 4-wheel drive. So it seemed like a really good fit for us. And it's small, and, with me driving too, I wanted to feel more comfortable driving and stuff.
And it hasn't come without any issues. Lynn's right. I like to solve things, and it gives you something to solve. And we've had to figure out how to solve the sway issues, and can this truck tow it, and all those things.
And how to carry the bikes and all kinds of stuff.
We've gone through so many things that we didn't document during this burnout that we were going through. So that's why we chose the Airstream, and I think those are the three main questions that everyone wanted us to answer. So now let's hop in the truck, pull the Airstream down to the beach.
I'll drive a little bit.
We'll take you with us, and we'll show you what it's like. Thanks for being here. Well, blue signs, whether we're in a van or a big motor home or in our Airstream, they're all the same. Aggie loves it, but I had to stop and take a video of that because that's kind of ironic, isn't it? A hydrant and her had a blue sign. She's loving it. And it's good to be able to stretch your legs.
And it's good to be able to roll around in the grass, isn't it? It's fun, isn't it? Yeah. So I've got a confession to make. You know, there are a lot of things about when we had the channel that I don't miss. All the work of putting the videos together and all the effort and all the worry, I don't miss that at all. But I honestly do miss talking to you guys. And so many of you are like family, and we stay in touch with you so much. Just stopping to say, here's what Maggie's doing. I love being able to do that. It's like I get to go walk. I get to go do things. And even if I'm by myself, I can talk to the camera and talk to you guys. So I just want you to know I realize that. You're just a part of this. And it's kind of weird, isn't it? But hey, we're going to see how it works again. Feels good today. Might not tomorrow, but it feels good today. You see that? We actually started a walk. We're at a rest area, but we're going to do a walk for, I guess, maybe a mile around here and try to get some of our exercise. Maggie walks are always different than us doing an exercise walk because she's always stopping to take that pose. Is that the first time? So we're at Seagrove. We've actually spent the night here before, but we have a neat thing here. On top of the roof of the rest area, the restroom, they've got all these greenery plants out here growing on top of the roof. There's more of it here. Wow. Lynn pointed out that you could actually know what all these plants are in each one of these little sections here. And this tells you what a green roof is. And the guy with the wood shop thinks about this. I bet they had to make that roof a lot stronger than they normally would. They're going to plant a garden on top of it. But really cool. We finished our little walk. We didn't quite go a mile. Came into the RV for a few minutes to make a snack. Cut up some apples, have some cheese, and then we'll be on our way. So maybe they'll be able to hear us over Maggie huffing back there. But
Yeah, my huffing.
you know, we've owned this for now almost 9 months. Mm-hmm. Am I right? You've never driven it, have you? Mm-hmm. So we have our 2022 Toyota Tundra. And we have the base camp back here, and we've done some things to make it tow better. And I guess in another video, we'll talk to you about some of the problems we've had in towing it with this 1500 style truck. But now that we've taken a break, it's your turn.
I'm gonna try it.
The
reason why I haven't driven something I'm against it is this trailer has been really squirrely for a number of reasons, which are mostly our fault.
Yeah.
But I think Owen wanted to get it where it was more stable for me, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, because if we can't, you know, this can't be our mode of camping if she can't drive, because we have to solve that. So this is a big deal. The next hour or so as we drive. The only problem I have with it right now is winds are starting to pick up, and we're expecting 45-mile-an-hour winds this afternoon. And before I did all the work on this, it would have been really, really swaying everywhere. So I'm thinking it's not going to be, but we'll find out.
All right,
Let's go.
Off we go. You got your seatbelt on?
I'm ready.
You might need it.
I might need it. Can you see out the mirrors okay?
You can see out the mirrors.
The little ones on the outside, the tow mirrors, they're going to be your friend.
8 miles, continue straight.
Good job. And just to be safe, make sure every move you make on the steering wheel is smooth. Got it? All right, I'm going to take a nap now. It is pretty important as to whether we're going to continue with this being our mode of transportation, because if this doesn't work, we're going to need to go back to some kind of van or C or Super C or something, or we need to change our Tundra and move up to like a 250 or something that's a bigger 3/4 ton pickup truck, where you probably wouldn't feel this thing back there at all. So we'll see. It is it's to be determined, but if she can drive it in this wind, then maybe we've addressed most of the issue. By the way, it's this truck's fault that we are in an RV now instead of in a van. Because last year we bought this truck when my other truck kind of gave up the ghost, and we got something a little safer. The ride and the comfort and the way this thing feels was just so good that we couldn't see ourselves riding in a noisy van, especially like as loud as the Echo was. So that started this entire process of we've got to find something quieter. And then Lynn just said, why don't we just get something to tow behind it and just drive in the truck? That's where it started. You looking around? So you've knocked about 45 minutes off of the trip so far. How do you feel so far?
I feel okay.
Yeah. One time that it kind of got a little squirrely, but not bad.
Felt different. I don't know if it got squirrely. I wouldn't say it's squirrely. It just felt different.
Yeah.
Than what
Okay.
I was feeling.
So far the test has been pretty successful, and we're getting ready to get into a more populated area. Do you want me to take over? Oh, wow. Good. Awesome. How do you got? That's a good sign for us.
Exit, then take the exit onto South Main. At the stop sign, turn right.
We're stopping to switch drivers and to...
The next stop is on
Yep,
your right
right here.
speedway. Arrived.
Turn right. Get that.
One on the end.
I think it's only diesel, so we'll straight on up. And either that car will get out of the way or we'll be okay either way.
Okay.
Alrighty. Let's get some gas. You did it.
I did it.
So, what are your thoughts?
Definitely aware it's back there. It's not like, it's just different. It's just different. Definitely very, very careful.
Yeah.
So
I think you did great.
Well,
It was
thank you.
awesome. I think you did great. Let's get some gas and we'll get on out of here. So that really made me happy. That was really good. There were a few situations that she had to be careful about, and there are a couple things that happened that taught her how it feels, and it was a successful experiment. And I think maybe we can keep the truck and keep the RV. We'll see. But one of these days we will go through all the things I've done to make it tow better. But for now, let's resume back to our campground. We're here. Let's have a good time.
What's Maggie doing back here? Maggie's wanting to get up front. We've got a little seat cover with her bed back there in the back for her. Keep her a little bit safe, but usually when we get to the park, we let her up here. So patiently.
Pretty spoiled. You happy? Okay. Are we at a campground?
It's warmer than we've been used to at home. It's about 82 down here, but it's cloudy, and hey, it's the beach.
That's the beach. You want it to be
I'm not gonna
nice.
complain, yeah. But it's got a nice little breeze.
It was really, really, really professionally done. Let's see if I can find the campsite then.
We missed our site first thing.
I said I've been here before. There was a map. We didn't look at the map. We should have.
This is something that we haven't done in a lot of our previous RVs. There are advantages and disadvantages of hooking up your sewer. And normally on this one, a lot of times we don't hook it up either. We just wait and dump at the very end, which, we're usually staying at state parks.
So we really enjoyed that trip, and
It was a different trip for us. I mean, we
never.
never, unless we're with the grandkids, we stay at a resort. So
Yeah.
having that time alone with us and being at a resort, it was really nice.
Turns out we like being at pools. Who knew? Lazy rivers. There's a lot to love in that resort. And there's a lot that doesn't really fit who we still are either. So there was a lot we learned from that. But what was your favorite part?
Favorite part about the resort, it was very, very clean. Very, I mean, they took very good care.
Immaculate.
Immaculate. I love the pools. I mean, it was nice because, you know, when we swim out in the lake. So the pool was really nice. The, you know, the lazy river. There were so many things to do. They had like music at night. They have, you know, restaurants there, kinds of food trucks. They have putt. They just so many things. Things I didn't like. It was really crowded.
Yeah.
So
There are a lot of sites there. There are a lot of sites there, and it's crowded with people, and
With
the pool's
people.
crowded. There is an adult-only pool, and it's not heated, so for those two reasons, there weren't as many people in that. So
That's where we
we
stayed.
figured out a routine that worked, and it worked, and we were there for almost 2 weeks, and I think I'm glad we did it. I don't think we'd go back for another trip anytime soon, but
Yeah.
we did enjoy it. My favorite part, and it's crazy, but if you've ever been to the Myrtle Beach area, it's spread out from a long ways. And we usually stay somewhere like in the Murrells Inlet area or down close to that area. And most of the things we like to go to are up close to North Myrtle. This park was 10 minutes away from almost everything we wanted to do every night. And so if you wanted to go to the grocery store, it was cool. If you wanted to go out to eat, it was 10 minutes. If you wanted to go to Costco, it was 15 minutes. It was perfectly centrally located between New York and Miami.
So let's talk about what's next for us and for the channel and what may be coming up in our travels.
Okay, for us, I still have a surgery to go through the end of this month, and I'll have a little bit of recovery, and then I'll probably act like it's never happened before. Believe it or not, after so many months, Lynn still has a few more surgeries for dental reasons to go through, and that's something we deal with. And if you've ever gone through that, you need to put a pin in a calendar, and you can't travel around that because you never know what's going to happen. So we'll have to deal with that. And, you know, we want to stay home for the summer as much as we can this year and try to enjoy being out on the lake and enjoy being around grandkids and great-grandchildren. So
right.
it's going to be that for us as well. So that takes care of the next several months for me and you. But what are the plans for the channel? People are going to ask that.
Well, we're trying to figure that out. And I think what's going to be important to us is trying to find that balance between work life and travel and actually providing value is, you know, this is something that's important to me and to you, you know, for our viewers.
Our dear friends Deb and John, I know for sure they know how much it takes to do something like this and what a commitment it is every single week. And we want to cut the time down. So we're going to have to learn to be okay with either shorter videos or less frequent videos or videos that may every now and then have a or a stutter or something in it because, you know, when you do things and try to put out something that could be on Netflix, you can't do that and be two people. So we need to realize that balance between everything is important. But ultimately, for me, we want to continue to enjoy the next 10 years of our life and to, you know, donate a part of that time to creating the videos. But the primary thing is for us to enjoy each other as we live through the next few years of retiring and the things we want to see. So during this 9 months, we look back and we notice, crap, we didn't document any place we went. And
We took pictures, but that's about it.
we don't have the videos and the memories that we created when we were doing the channel.
And we miss that. We really did
We
miss
do.
that.
Many of you miss it, but believe it or not, we do too. And if we change our style, at least most of the videos will still be based around traveling and what we learned and the memories we want to capture. But that balance has to be super important to us, doesn't it?
You know, and I think that brings up a good point is, you know, we want to have that value for the viewers. So what would you like to see? I mean, what brings value to you?
Yeah.
I mean, places to go or ways to travel, or, what is it that you watch YouTube for?
So one of the big changes that'll come from that is what?
We're not going to publish a video every single week. We're only going to put something out there when we travel or we feel like, hey, we've come up with this idea that it might help you.
Yeah.
So.
Or we find something that we're going to add to our arsenal and we know we are and we love it, we may bring it to you then. Or if we find a tip that we figure out, we may bring those to you. But we're not going to go plan a trip next week because we're now out of travel videos. We're just not going to do that anymore. So you're not going to see us coming in your living room every single week. But if you don't want to miss any,
you might want to hit that. What is it called?
That thing is called the
notification button.
Yeah, and subscribe to the channel and do all those YouTube-y things.
Yeah. So our next trip, what do we got planned?
Shiny out there doesn't have any lithium batteries.
No,
We really miss having lithium batteries. Our last two vehicles have had that. We do have a few ways around that, and so we're going to try to prove out a cheaper way to get around not having lithium batteries by going to a national park that's pretty close to us. And then in the fall, we're going to spend a couple of months out west exploring many of the national parks that we've either never been to or never really spent a lot of time at. And we have to have that lithium battery thing solved by then.
Right, because we want a boondock.
Yeah. Those are our plans. Sometime we'll be back here before Thanksgiving and we'll spend that time and Christmas at home again. And then next winter, unless something changes, we'll do what we did this last winter. We'll probably spend New Year's Eve in St. Augustine out on the beach watching the fireworks. And then we'll probably make it down to the Miami area for a week. And then we'll spend the rest of the winter in the Keys. Sound good?
Sound good. We do love winter in Florida.
Yeah, we really do. It's perfect. Time's going to fly, and it has flown for us. I can't believe it's been almost 9 months since we last released a video and talked to everyone. And we do apologize that we haven't been on here to do that. We did put a few posts out. We did do a few things on Facebook, but that doesn't count, and we realize that.
So those are our plans. That's kind of what's been going on. I hope we provided a little bit of clarity of where we've been and what we've been doing. But for now,
I guess that's it. We'll see you somewhere else down the road. See you later. Thanks for being part of our journey.
Bye-bye. Little Red Riding Hood.
I got to put it on my big ears here.
You sure are looking good.
Well, before you ask, where's Maggie? Maggie's still with us, and she's still doing as good as an old girl can do, but she did not like being at the beach and all the sand and the bugs, and she got a little itchy, and she
Itchy bitchy.
Itchy bitchy. She tore up. It's on the other side, isn't it?
No, that's
right here. She tore up her rear end. She chews and chews and chews, and so now she has to wear a little permanent pillow for a while, and she'll be in the next video. Won't you, Maggie? Tell them woof. Woof. Leave me alone.